Enabling and empowering. What do you think of those two words, and how do they apply to employees? Well, that's something that I want to talk just a little bit about today in this video, because we all deal with empowering or enabling the people around us, our teams, our peers. It's a really important thing for us to be able to understand when we're working with other people. Empowering is really going to help your people take accountability and responsibility for their own actions and the decisions that they're choosing to make. Whereas when we think about enabling, we're enabling them to make poor decisions, give excuses, give reasons about why they can't fulfill something for us. And these are really important things for us to know how to address as well. Some of the conversations that I'm having with my peer managers and employees really tie to these things. And if you really want your employees to be effective and work for you and do a good job, you really need to know how to empower them. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of situations that I've been in that hopefully will help you be able to take these tools and really use them to your advantage to really help you be able to get the most out of your employees when you're working with them. So let's talk about enabling for just a minute. If you're enabling, you're allowing your employees to give you those justifications, reasons, explanations for why they can or can't get a job done. You're agreeing with them, which you should agree with them. You should be empathetic with them, because that's going to help reduce their defensive mechanisms, right? When they're interacting with you and talking and responding with you. So agreeing with them is fine. Yeah, I know, traffic is terrible out there. What do you think you could do tomorrow to make sure you're on time? Sometimes when I leave for work and I know the weather's going to be bad, I make sure I leave 20 to 30 minutes early. What do you think about that? Is that something you could do? So I'm not I know traffic's bad, but I can get to work on time. I don't know what your problem is, right? Really try to find a way that you can talk to your employees about the situation that they're in and how you can help them improve that and take some accountability and responsibility on themselves. I want to focus a little bit more on the accountability part as far as enabling our employees, because that's really what I want to emphasize, is ways that you can improve and work through those difficult situations with your employees. So if I'm enabling an employee, I'm going to be talking to them more like this. Hey, John, come on in. Let's talk about, your performance. So I noticed on these performance reports that, you're performing lower than what, I would expect you to be performing. You know your job well. You've been with the company for a couple years now, and, you have the option to be able to help train some peers. I really need your support there because you are so great with people. What do you think is going on with your performance? Is there, maybe something that you're struggling with? And then a lot of times I'll hear, well, I don't know what's going on with it. I come into work and I try to do my best. I feel like I know my job okay. And then a follow-up question would usually be something like, okay, well, are you getting distracted anywhere? When you're processing your work, is there, something that you get stuck on? And then a lot of times I'll come back with, whatever their response is, something like, well, when I'm doing this job, there's just this one problem that I keep finding and I'm not really sure where to find the answer. And, sometimes I go ask Jane and then Jane has to look it up. And I just feel bad because then I'm taking time away from Jane. So as the manager, as a supervisor, I now know that my employee is having a problem in this one area. They're getting stuck on this one particular assignment that they're doing and processing their work, whatever that is. And now I know, okay, I need to focus on that. Another conversation might be something like, well, I'm just not feeling well. I've been getting these headaches and, I just get distracted easily. There's so many people talking in the area. Can you just help them, maybe be quiet? Can you talk to them about it? They're just so annoying. It just distracts me what they're talking about. So then my response would be something like, well, I can't really control what that team is doing. You're my team, and I can, maybe mention something about their team, but is there something you can do to help, cut back on your headaches? Is there, can you talk to your doctor about that? How is that going? Maybe I'll listen to them talk about, maybe what's going on that way a little bit. And then I'll bring it back to, is there something you can do to help yourself focus? Maybe you can get some headphones and listen to some music or something. So I really try to get them to take accountability for their actions and their behaviors, and that way they're taking ownership on it. But I'm not putting it on them. I'm not telling them, well, listen, you really suck in this area, and if you would just pick up the pace. I'm trying to help them think through their problem. And then usually at the end of the conversation, if I really feel like there's something that I need to follow up on them with, a lot of times I'll tell them, okay, you know what, it's Thursday today. Why don't you take some time, over the next few days, the next couple days when you come into work, and just really see where you're getting distracted, where you're getting stuck, what's going on. Is there something that you can, identify in yourself that will really help you figure out, how you can improve your performance? What's going on that, maybe you need to work on, or that I can help you with, and then let's meet next week. And usually the employee will go away with, well, okay, I don't know, but okay, not very confident. But then I follow up with them the next week like I tell them I'm going to. That's really important. Make sure that if you tell your employee you're going to follow up with them, you need to follow up with them. Within the time frame that you gave them as well. If you tell them next week, meet with them next week. If you tell them next Wednesday, you've got to meet with them next Wednesday. That is so important for you as somebody that's leading them, because they know they're going to be able to rely on you. They're going to know they're going to be able to count on you, and that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. So then the follow-up conversation would sound something like this, or, just kind of as an example. Hey, so last week we talked about, 3 things I wanted you to kind of pay attention to your performance and see if there was anything that I could help you with, areas that you were, falling behind in, or, maybe training gaps, maybe you're getting distracted somewhere. What did you discover in yourself? And almost every time they'll be like, well, I discovered this and this and this. Or, yeah, like I realized that, this and this and this is what I need help with on these jobs. And then I can get them with, an on-the-job instructor, an on-the-job trainer, help them fill those training gaps. And if that's not the case, then, usually they always bring something to me that I would have never thought of myself, that I would have never pointed out. So it really helps me to be able to identify what's really going on, rather than being like, you're just a bad employee. I don't think any employees come into work trying to be a bad employee or really a bad employee. They just have something going on, and sometimes I can bring their awareness to it enough that helps them to be able to work on those issues themselves. Or it helps bring the awareness to me, so I can set them up with a trainer that I know is going to really be able to help them get their work, improve their processes, improve their workflow. So really, just as kind of a summary, make sure that you're sitting down with your employees and enabling them, not enabling them, empowering them to improve their processes and their production and their performance. That empowerment is so important. So empower your employees versus enable them. Sit down with them. Help them take accountability by asking them questions about what's going on. Maybe your company has a counselor or a therapist that they can talk to, and they just really need that service. Maybe they have some gaps in their training that really, by bringing their attention to their own performance, what can you do? What are you observing about yourself? You go in, observe and see what you can identify as you're processing your work assignment. How can I help you with that? And then really setting a time frame, okay, next week, next Wednesday, next Thursday, whatever that is, set that time frame that you're going to meet with them. And it's better not to set a specific time and date, because what if you get sick? What if the employee gets sick? Now they know they can't rely on you because you didn't meet at that time that you said you were going to meet at. So it's really important to manage and keep an eye on those things so that you can really build that rapport with your employee. This is one of the best ways that I have found to really help my employee have the desire to improve their production and their performance and just be better employees overall. Having that conversation with them, helping them build their confidence, and then complimenting them. Wow, you found 3 things about your performance, 3 things that were distracting you, 3 areas that you need help in. Wow, thank you so much for, talking to me about these things. Let's meet again next week and see, let's talk about some ways that you can improve those areas, and then meet again next week and see if you were able to improve those and bring those rates up. It really helps your employees feel supported, know that you're listening to them and you care about them, and you're going to really see some great results with this. If you like this information, if it's helpful, please like these videos, share them with anybody that you feel, could use them and that would be helpful for them, and subscribe to my channel so that you can see the additional videos that come out. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.